13th of July 2020, Monday, fortunately for some, not Friday. It could be much worse. Some bulls for sure are gonna to remember what has happened. Shall the bears be excited? Well, you know, we've seen something similar quite a few times and we know how we ended up then. So very interesting what's going to happen tomorrow. With that being said, this is US cash close update. Piotr here. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, guys. Light Forex Global YouTube channel. Without a further delay, let's have a look. Let's check the charts and discuss what happened. Alright, let's start with the daily chart when it comes to the Nasdaq. For a quite long time, bulls were so happy, right? But very quickly, towards the end of the day, we've seen huge rejection. Well, one of the explanation could be that California is going to close them on all indoor activities. That's what the services are going to try to tell us. You know, sometimes too high, too fast is simply not good for the market. So healthy correction, that might be something very useful for the market. Now, well, the thing is that this ugly correction, it might be right, daily outside reversal, meaning that we made a high compared to the Friday and looks like the daily cash close is below the Friday low, right? So in that case, we have a huge and monster reversal. Of course, trying to immediately join that move, it's like almost 500 points, right? Based on the daily chart. So what I'm gonna do, probably we are going to see the continuation during the Tokyo session. I might you know, watch the first few minutes of the Tokyo session, and if we are going to see some kind of the rebound, I may try to use it, or I'm simply going to place limit to sell order, right, somewhere on the rally back towards 10,770.80, right, or even spike higher towards the low of this rising candle over here, right, towards 10,800 ish. Okay, so that might be my supply zone. Also, based on the fib, that's gonna be something around 50%. With this outside reversal, not necessarily we might see this type of the rally, but you know, history prove that the biggest manipulation lately for the last 10 years when it comes to the US indices are done during the Tokyo hours. So that's my plan for the Nasdaq in case we are going to see the bounce. Now, where we are going to go, what is the possible target? If my way of thinking that might be megaphone formation, right, is correct, well, that might be very interesting, because what we've seen here is a break of the mid of the M formation midline, right? Megaphone formation midline. The thing is that we already seen this type of the break earlier, right? But we haven't had this third stop count above the megaphone formation, then huge Niagara Falls, right? So, well, yes, that's true. The sellers, congratulations today. I'm so sorry when it comes to those buyers who were trading without the stop, right? So I'm sorry here if you've been trapped. That's well, it may take some time before we are going to see this type of the action that market will allow you to get out. There is a, with megaphone formation, there is one more thing possible here. We might retest. Let me, 1 second, let me draw this one more time. We might retest the top of that megaphone formation line again. If that would be done quickly, fast, aggressive, that could also be retest of this pre-market open consolidation, right? Actually, we've seen the retest of that level during the breakdown, okay? It was nicely done here, all right? But maybe one more time. I don't think, but you know, just answer yourself. How many times we've seen V formation when we didn't expect the V formation? So during Asian hours, of course, that's ugly. Well, almost 300 points from here. Well, probably it's not gonna happen. 3% up during Tokyo hours, but that's also possible when it comes to the megaphone, right? Anyway, the basic plan for now for the Tokyo is to sell the small rally towards 10,780 to 10,800. That's how I see Nasdaq. Next one is S&P. Right? Same story. Huge sell-off, but compared to the, it looks a little bit different compared to Friday, right? Looks like Nasdaq was the weakest today, all right? It's huge rejection. Something we were discussing that maybe it's going to happen that way, right? Some attempt to stop count, as you can see. Well, that won't happen, but there is a big but. We are still here. We are still above those two lower shadows Thursday, Friday, meaning that we are still above this latest demand over here. So here looks a little bit better. So looks like market switch a bit. As long as we are above previous week open, right? That's the previous week open here also. Let's change the color a bit. Okay, and that's this week open. We might retest this week open. Okay, guys, we might retest that one. So I'm skipping S&P here, waiting for biggest rally. So the Nasdaq is top pick when it comes to the Tokyo session. Okay, now that's how it looks when it comes to the indices. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the FX market. And here we go. Nice rejection. As of now, it still might be the range when it comes to the Australian dollar, but I like it. I've been trading when I saw what is going on with indices, right? I've been trading Aussie on this with this break below 70. Of course, guys, as usual, don't forget there is a link in the description. You can check my intraday activity. Of course, there are 3 different strategies on the one account, so it might be a little bit messy for you, but anyway, I've been trading intraday both Australian dollar, US dollar, and Euro Aussie, as discussed some time ago because of the bottom. Now, I do expect that those guys over the course of the Tokyo session, they are gonna to retest the bottom, or maybe look, they might even look for stops, right? So, because we broke below daily open, right? So let's switch to the daily chart for a second, because it looks a little bit ugly, right? It looks a little bit ugly. So what I'm looking for is 2 things for the Tokyo session. I'm looking for a weekly open, all right, and then I'm looking for top of the range. So let's switch back to the intraday. I'm looking for this particular broken demand, all right? So there was a demand during the Tokyo session, all right? It was retested, it's been retested during the European hours, all right? Another rally up, huge failure. So either I'm going to sell partially here, all right? And I'm going to sell partially on the possible retest of 69.70 again. That's another block from the intraday perspective, right? That's another broken demand. So this one, right? And this one. So weekly open and then closer to 69.70. What's gonna be my target? First target, the bottom of the consolidation. Second target, I'm going to try to double the breakdown to the downside. So what I'm gonna to do, that's what we usually talking about. Let me visualize for ya. So that's the range without the upper lower shadows, and my second target is gonna be doubling down, right? Meaning that I'm gonna what? I'm gonna try to trade for the retest of this consolidation to the left, all right? And 50% of that consolidation, as you can see. Everything might work fine here when it comes to the Australian dollar. And the last one was beauty as it is. Cable set up to the short. Outside day on the cable. Lower levels to come. The only thing I'm afraid of when it comes to the sellers, so to myself as well, is this latest weakness over here. Meaning that 125 still gonna be the challenge. But we discussed today that 125 in case of the breaking 25.90 could be the case, right? So this latest weakness being tested over here, so I do expect fall towards 15.25, maybe some bounce, retest of the Friday low and continuation to the downside eventually, right? Beauty as it is, from the intraday perspective, we discussed this morning, guys. Go back to the archive section of the Light Forex Global YouTube channel, right? We discussed this triple top over here, right? We discussed the possibility of the setup in case of the break of the weekly open, right? So that's happened, right? Then what? That depends. What was your approach, right? If you are conservative, you were watching this blue dashed line, dotted line over here, weekly open. Beauty as it is when it comes to the swing high, right? So your open was around 26.20, so at weekly open, right? So you are, congratulations, you should be well in profit, and you wanna take, at least partially, you wanna do something with the cable because we are testing intraday demand. So the retest of some broken levels during the Tokio session could be in place. So I'm going to look for renewing. I'm still holding medium term, but I'm going from the intraday perspective. I'm gonna to look for renew around 25, 85, 20, 26. That's how I see the cable. It was my pleasure, guys, to make the update for you. I'm going to get back if necessary around the London Open. Stay tuned, don't be trapped, and see you around. Take care, goodbye, good night, and see you around.